Hello YouTube, welcome to Ziangs Food Workshop. I'm Chin, and this is my mum, who needs no real introduction by now.
It's Choo.
There we go. Hello and welcome. If you're new to our channel, we teach you how to do Chinese takeaway food, exactly how a Chinese takeaway would do it at home, as well as Malaysian, Chinese street food and traditional Chinese food as well. So if that's your kind of thing, this is your place to be. So what are we doing today, Mum?
Today we're doing Peking duck.
You didn't even need to,
What?
you didn't even need to think about it.
No, I'm really good. I'm getting good now.
Yeah. Once in the 92 videos we got. So yeah, Peking duck. This isn't in the cookbook that we have. We only have Chinese roast duck in there and the sort of, you know, the takeaway roast duck as well. What they use in the cookbook, which is only available from us on our website. So this is a whole new thing. We did promise a duck dish at 120, which was just the classic Chinese takeaway duck. This Peking duck has been asked for a long time, but it takes at least 24 hours to get right. So we've been putting it off a little bit, but here it is.
Yeah, here we come.
Right, so what you're gonna need is one bulb of garlic. All we're gonna do with this is take off all of the cloves and we're just gonna smash them.
Yeah, just go and smash it.
Just like this. So
the pot.
Now, because this recipe isn't in our cookbook, I will put the recipe list below, not the method, but the recipe list. And then when it is in a cookbook in the future, it will be taken away. So if you can't find it, it means it's because it's in our cookbook in the future. So future past.
What future?
Future me has taken it off. So I'm talking to you from the future if it's gone. It sounded cooler in my head. So all of that goes into the slow cooker. Now you don't have to use a slow cooker. You can in fact just use a pot. A slow cooker just keeps the temperature constant. So what we're going to do is literally put all these ingredients in, leave it to cook at about 100 to 120 degrees for the next 2.5 hours. We need 5 shallots that look like this. I'm just going to cut them in half.
Oh, dropping that doesn't make it any more good flavor, okay?
No, but it is fun to pick up.
Bit of exercise, huh?
You are going to need one more bulb of garlic, but all we're going to do with that is, again, crush it and then add it later on. So we're going to put about 3 tablespoons of oil into this. Vegetable oil or sunflower oil, either one. 2 or 3 of these Chinese liquorice roots. You don't want too many because they can be quite woody.
Powerful.
Yeah.
I got the power.
I got the power, I got the touch. From the Transformers movie, if anyone remembers that, the cartoon version. 1.5 teaspoons of fennel. About 6 or 7 cloves. You don't want too many because these can be very overpowering. Some cinnamon or cassis bark. You don't want that much, like literally a little shard like that is more than enough for this. Tablespoon of crushed Chinese peppercorns or Sichuan peppercorns, however you want to say them. Then now we're just going to turn the heat up on this and then sort of fry them at a lowish sort of heat because you just want to get the aromas out of this. Oh, forgot.
The most important one is
star anise. So about 10 grams of star anise goes in here, and now we're going to start cooking it. In case you're wondering what duck we're using, we've got this Grenham shawl. I'm going to be doing 8 duck legs today, so this will do 8 duck legs in total. And you can freeze these, so you can do all these at once. Phase 1 is literally cooking them and then letting them dry out, and when they've dried you can then freeze them and then defrost them and use as you want to use them, or you can cook them after for 24 hours. It's important that you don't burn the spices.
Gently heat it to get the aroma out. You can smell it now.
Right, so we've cooked these for about, spices off for about 3 to 4 minutes.
So start smelling.
Oh yeah, when it gets nice and aroma, when it gets a nice aroma, sorry, like the profile changes to, like the spices smell cooked. That's when you turn the temperature down. And it's time to add your duck legs. I nearly said turkey legs. And then you want to fill this up with water until your duck legs are submerged. We're going to put this back on the heat, and then you want it so it's about between 100 and 120. So we're going to put this on about 100. And now we're going to add 3 teaspoons of this. It's 13 spice, and it's one of the biggest secrets in Chinese duck cooking. It's reminiscent of 5 spice, but it's nowhere near as pungent. And there's like aromas in there that you don't necessarily get with the 5 spice. If you don't have the 13 spice, you can use the 5 spice, but it's never quite right, is it?
No.
So this goes in. 1, 2, 3.
You're going to stop them soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stop.
This will be on webstore. Sand ginger is what we're about to add next. It's definitely on our shop. 1, 2 teaspoons of that. 1.5 teaspoons of MSG. 1.5 teaspoons of white pepper. Got another whole bulb of garlic, which we're just going to slice in half and put in. You can crush it if you want, but you don't need to. Got 5 roughly chopped spring onions here. They're going to go in. Going to need 4 tablespoons of dark soy. 2.5 teaspoons of salt. And then you're going to need this stuff. It's called maltose. This is really important. It's like sugar. I've actually had to put this in a microwave for 30 seconds. Otherwise it's just like, what's the word?
Solid.
Yeah, it's still a liquid, but not really. And you're going to need 2 good teaspoons of this in here. No, tablespoons, not teaspoons, tablespoons. Normally comes in a tub that looks like that. And that is everything. I'm just going to stir this all in. It smells good.
Yeah.
Now we're going to let that come to a boil. Turn it down to a nice sort of middle temperature, like I said, between 120 if you can get it there. Lower the better, to be honest. Meat's more tender the slower you do it, but you have to cook it for longer. We will be turning the duck legs every sort of 30 minutes. Be gentle the last hour or so, because they can get quite tender and you don't want that meat to come off, and you don't want to tear the skin either. So the best is to use a really good set of tongs, ones that you're comfortable with, so you can turn these properly. Again, we sell most of these spices on our webstore, chillandchew.com. Okay, so now it's at the boil. We're going to turn the temperature down and leave it. Lid on. I'm going to turn every sort of 20 minutes. Or half an hour really. Every half hour we'll turn the ducks. As I mentioned before, we're just turning these every half hour or so. 20 minutes every half hour, whatever you want. Just got to make sure they're turned so they cook evenly. I just want to say, we're using a Silvercrest cooker. Everything about it is brilliant, but it's got one major design flaw, and that's the handle. It's metal, and I just burnt myself then trying to lift it up. Like, why would you make that metal? Right, so it's been about 2 hours. It's been just over 2.5 hours. They look perfect right now. Sorry about the red mouth. I've had a few glasses of wine since. So yes, now we're going to take them out, place them onto this tray. We probably won't fit all 8 on here, but what you want to do is have them so they're sitting above the surface to let everything drip off. So you want to be careful with these because they're going to be very tender, like very tender. If you want them a bit darker than this, even though you don't need them darker than this, put more dark soy into the mix. But you can actually use that, can you see that moving? That means it's super tender. So you can actually save this, freeze it if you want, but it makes a fantastic broth. So what we would do is we'd skim all that oil off, freeze it, and then use it, make it into almost a sauce that you eat with some boiled rice, pour over the top. It might actually fit all of them on.
It's delicate now, isn't it?
Will.
Wow.
See, that one there, meat started to fall off because I just dropped it. Normally we'd do this with a whole duck in a takeaway, but obviously at home you don't have access to the same sort of equipment that you would have, plus the duck legs, in our opinion, are nicer. But we'd actually cut the duck in half. So it would make a whole duck, but it comes in halves. Actually, maybe we'll save this sauce and then show you how to use it for a completely different dish. I mean, it's ideally best with duck, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So like I said, with that stock, you can freeze it and use it at another point, or keep it in the fridge. That'll keep for a couple of days. We're going to allow these to cool down. Now, the important bit is don't tap them dry. It's very tempting to tap them dry, but the layer of oil that will come off them actually helps them to crisp up in the oven. You can deep fry these, which is what most takeaways do, but we'll probably oven these. So after about an hour and a half of sitting out, you want to put them in the fridge, and you want them to sit there overnight, 24 hours at minimum. Don't cover them, but what that does is it draws the moisture out of the skin, and that's how you get really crisp, the crispiness really. So we're going to pop these in the fridge, and we will see you when these are ready to be cooked off. So we've left these overnight. We're only going to be cooking 2 of these off because the other 6 we're having for Sunday lunch.
Yes.
No, Sunday dinner.
Sunday evening.
So we'll be doing 2 of these. Now, in a takeaway, they would probably deep fry them. That's how I'd say probably 80% of them do it. I don't like it that way. I like it when it's oven, so that's what we're gonna do today. If you try it this way, you're gonna need a basket if you want to deep fat fry it, so deep fat fry it is a must, because if you don't have a basket, what happens, it will sit on the bottom of the pan or the wok you're using and burn, because you need a...
separation.
Yeah, to take it off the bottom. Yeah. So, or even a spider, if you hold it in a spider, one of these things.
Yeah, cooking equipment spider, not the spider we're talking about.
Yeah, don't get just a giant tarantula and put it in. But yeah, hold that in there, like let it sit on the bottom and don't let the actual duck touch the bottom. And if you're going to deep fat fry it, around 160 is what you want the temperature of the oil to be when it goes in. Turn it down a little bit, and then at the end, after about 8 minutes, you want to whack up the heat for about another minute, so it's really nice and crispy on the outside.
That's what we do then.
No, we are putting it in the oven.
Yeah, we are putting it in the oven.
So what we've done is we preheated the oven to 220 degrees C. I have no idea what that's in Fahrenheit. 4 million?
Don't know, it's higher in Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it is, yeah, that's right.
Far and high.
Yeah. And they're going to go in for 20 minutes. And this is what they look like after 20 minutes. Nice and crispy on the outside. So we're just going to build these now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll do like a sit down for this. So yeah, we'll sit down and then sort of like make it and then test it at the same time, if you know what I mean. Oh, also, there's sometimes a sauce that comes with this called Peking sauce. Sometimes that's bought in a jar. Normally it's Li Kumki brand, or it's made from hoisin. So you have 1 part hoisin, 2 parts water, 1 part sugar, and that they bring that to the boil, let it sort of simmer for about 10-15 minutes and thicken it, and then that's usually what they use for a Peking sauce. But today I'll show you what we're doing when we make the things up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you do is you just get 2 forks like this and just tear into it like that. Look how tender that is. Oh.
Yes, tender. Yeah.
Don't need like literally next to no effort whatsoever.
My wrap.
Exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, tender and just
fall off the bone.
Yeah, skin is crispy.
You can toast these. We're not going to toast them today. We normally, you know, in the Chinese you get different kind of wrappers, but we actually prefer the tortilla wrappers. But the other wrappers you can find in any good local Chinese supermarket. Normally we like these ones for one reason only, and what's that, Mum?
You can put more.
Yeah, exactly, you can fit more in it. And they're basically made of the same thing, they're just thicker. Oh, that's good. We're using an Amoy hoisin here, straight out the tin. It's my favourite one to use out the tin, but not my favourite to cook with. It's got a really nice, super sweet flavour, where the Li Gumgi one doesn't. This is Li Gumgi plum sauce, which is one of the best plum sauces you can get. We sell, obviously, these on the website. I'll actually link there below, so I'm not sure which sauce I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for the hoisin as well. So this is just literally hoisin out of the tin. You want to go sparingly with it because it is strong.
You see, if you use the other wrapper, you can only put 2 pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
Of
2 pieces of meat. What's the point?
And then when you try and roll it, it falls out everywhere. You couldn't even roll it.
I mean, they do have a different flavour, I'll give you that. It is a nice flavour.
Thinner, yeah, thinner. But it's his own preference, isn't it, at the end of the day?
That, and also because we live in rural Somerset, I couldn't get hold of the wrappers in time for this video. You got a lot, did you?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't like too much spring onions. A couple of chilies here and there.
Got to have more dark though. Look at that.
The maltose in the mix is what gives it its colour on the outside.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, because that fit in there nicely, didn't it?
Yeah. It's good. You can have this one around when you have people for a drink. So you used to do this.
When you allowed them round, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we used to.
What can I say? You can taste the spices in there. It's really permeated through the meat and the well, we didn't cook it, but the braising of those duck legs really makes them special. If you deep fry them, they will be really extra crispy on the outside. So if you want really crispy, like super crispy, deep fry them. But like I said, it tends to dry them out a lot easier. This way, the meat's really nice and tender still. But each to their own.
What?
I said each to their own.
Oh.
What? It's so tender I can just pick it off with my chopsticks. So there you go. That's Peking duck. Yeah, like I said, it had to be left overnight, but that's it.
It's yummy.
It is yum. So thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. And Mum,
happy cooking, happy eating.
there we go. Cheers, guys.
Thank you for watching.